All right, get them in here as we line them up for FriJay. We welcome you back to the Matt Murphy Radio Show. It's 7 minutes after 4 o'clock. Thank you for being around with us. It's a Halloween edition of Super Talk 99.7 WTN, a Halloween edition of the Matt Murphy Radio Show, which is spooky, to say the least. I got all worked up right at the end of last hour.
That was good radio, dude.
Dude, I just get so fired up when you snatch victory from the jaws of defeat or snatch defeat from the jaws of victory. I always forget how that one goes. But the Democrats started this. The Democrats created this. And now the Democrats are demanding the Republicans put an end to it. And I'm not saying that Donald Trump's falling for anything. I wouldn't say that. But when the president of the United States says, oh, we need to end the filibuster and move on with this, you're handing a victory to the political left. Because the political left, they want the Republicans to move, and they don't care about the filibuster. They are pro-government, more government ideologues. And so any suggestion to them to make it easier to grow government, they're all about it. Well, I don't know about you, but I think we've got enough laws. I mean, you could convince me on singular bills, or you could convince me on singular issues that maybe there's something that the federal government needs to do about this or that thing or the other thing. But for the most part, I think we have enough. Is there never a point where we have enough? Is there never a point where the American people look at our federal government and say, you know what, we're good for now? Well, to justify their existence, they don't believe in that. It's the reason that I tell you that the natural state of government is to grow. The natural state of any government is to continue to grow. It is why it's so difficult to stop the spending, why it's so difficult to convince the American people, sadly, that it is not the government's job to do this, that, or the other thing. That government largely needs to get out of the way and allow the free market to thrive and flourish. And so when we talk about eliminating the filibuster, you want to eliminate 230 plus years of American history? I mean, it wasn't until the 19-teens that there was any way to stop a filibuster. If someone wanted to stand on the floor and stop legislation, they had the ability to stand on the floor and stop legislation for as long as they like. Now you have a cloture that was a 2/3 majority cloture vote. And they still had to keep the floor and hold the floor. And at a 2/3 vote, you could vote to close debate and move on to a simple majority vote. In 1975, that was sadly changed to go to 3/5 of voting members. I believe that it should be changed again. You should require floor debate on filibusters for any floor debate. And you should allow for 3/5 of members present, 3/5 of members present to call for cloture on the debate, which means that these old senators would actually have to stay in the chamber and work for a living, as opposed to doing what they're currently doing, and that is enjoying their vacation while some American people suffer as a result of the government closures. All right, if you have any legal questions for Jay Sinclair, or really questions of any sort, he takes all comers during his time with us on these Fridays. I appreciate them so much because he's not only my best friend, he is the finest legal mind I've ever known. He's a fabulous golfer. He's a pretty good craps thrower. His name is Jay Sinclair, everybody. 615-737-9986, 615-737-9986. If you have any questions, you may call and line those up on the phone lines. You can also ask on the super text line. If you're the shy type and do not wish to talk on the radio, that's good. We've got you on the super text line, and we've got Jay up for another session of FriJay. Jay, I've got a question for you.
Yes, sir.
How you doing?
You know, man, I thought you might ask me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The only way I think I could be any better is if I were Josh Eland.
Uh-oh.
And yep, I figured you would have no idea who that is.
You have stumped me. Josh Elander.
Come on, Matt.
There is this great. It is everything good about college sports.
Okay.
And you got to go watch this video.
Okay.
And all I'm going to say is it's just the video when Danny White, the athletic director from Tennessee, told all the coaches to get out of the film room with the baseball team. He said he just wants to talk to the team. And he told them he was going to introduce him to their new head baseball coach. You know, Tony Patello is now the manager for the San Francisco Giants.
He is.
And he kicked all the coaches out, and he said, I'm going to introduce you to the new coach. And then it was Josh Elander, who was the number 2 guy. And Danny White did it kind of dramatically to mislead him, make him think it was
somebody else. And
the kids just swamped him.
Oh,
I mean, just swamped him, and it's everything good about college athletics.
Well, that's cool. So I did not know that Josh Elander, and I thought Jackson was playing around. Jackson knew. Jackson had it.
Oh,
as soon as you said.
No, this is a big deal. Yeah, and
well, that's cool.
So anyway, no, it's great.
All right, while we're lining up phone calls and they're coming in hot and heavy, and I'm getting some questions on the super text line. I'm all in on the FriJay.
Matt, I am all in on the 11.
Oh boy, you can't handle it.
I can't stand it because it's now or never, and his dad's dying. And there's just this great video of him. They were interviewing me about him, and he said, I know this is the last chance. His dad must really be sick. And he said, this is the last chance I have to win one that my dad can watch. And I can't turn away from that, man. I can't do that.
Don't you make dadgummit, Jay. You do this. You make me like Denny Hamlin. I can't stand it.
I get it, man. But, I mean, 60 races, I wish it'd be Mark Martin. That's who really deserves it.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't want to see another Mark Martin. And so I'm rooting for Denny Hamlin.
Well,
and plus I like Coach Gibbs. So I'm in.
Well, I like Coach. I don't like Denny. But, I mean, I get it. I mean, I understand it. I'm a human being, too. Come it, Jay.
Well, you ought to see the video of him talking about his dad.
I'm not doing it, Jay. I'm not doing it. I'm not going to do it. We got rid. Well, I mean, at least. See, don't make me work toward this because, I'm already thinking to myself, well, at least we got rid of that Joey Logano. At least he's not.
I get that. But I can't. Listen, I'm fine with anybody. I'm fine with Chase Briscoe. I don't know if you know his story or not, man, but they had the most heart-wrenching story. They had a really hard time conceiving.
Mm-hmm.
And then she got pregnant, and then like 4 or 5 months in, miscarried.
Oh.
And it was heart-wrenching. And he won a race sort of right after that, getting out of the car, and just bawled. I mean, he was just bawled.
Yeah.
And they were really kind of pretty public about it. And so anyway, now I think they got at least 2 kids. And so the movie had a happy ending, but I'm all in on him. He's from a little town up in Michigan, I think, about 3,500 people. And they're going to have a big watch party up there, Matt. And apparently every house in the whole town is decorated.
Oh.
For Chase Briscoe.
That's cool. I love how sports brings people together.
Right. Yep.
You telling the story about Denny Hamlin reminded me, I put on the YouTube, not TV, but just the YouTube, and it'll cycle through. You know how those algorithms will gravitate you to what you like anyway. And I'm I think you and I share this. We're big Bryson DeChambeau fans. Or I wasn't that big of a fan. I think I came around on him a little before you did, but I just love his YouTube channel. I do.
Yeah, well, he's remade himself. Nobody liked him when he was a jerk. He's great now.
That's right. But he does these things called the course record, where he goes to courses that he's never played before, and he goes in and asks what the course record is. And it reminds me, remember Big Jim Moore, Jay?
Yeah, I was going to ask you. Jim Moore used to do that, right?
Oh, yeah. Every golf course, Jim Moore would walk in. What's the course record around here? And, Bryson does it and then tries to beat it.
Right.
Well, I don't know if you've seen this. I didn't realize that Bryson DeChambeau lost his father a couple of years ago. And he went back to the course that he learned to play golf on.
Oh, wow.
And was trying to beat the course record. And his father had the original course record there.
Wow.
Well, it had been beat. So his father had the 64, and then they reconfigured the course, and somebody shot a 60. And so they talked about that a little bit. And he was like, I hadn't been here for, 15. He said, I hadn't played around here in 15 years or whatever. And he gets around and he talks about how it brings back memories. And, I used to be in those bunkers all the time. And it was kind of cool. And then toward the end, he finishes it up. He shot a 61, right? So he didn't beat the 60 course record, but he beat his dad. And he looked at the camera and he said, I just realized this is the first time I've played 18 holes on this course since my dad died. And then he just kind of loses it. And it just gets you. I mean, it just gets you. I mean, it just worked me over because, you think about your family. And he said, he talked about how his dad, taught him how to play golf and, made him the man that he is today. And then he looked at the camera and he said, I love you, Dad. And then, boop, he's off. It's like, it's so good.
Well, it's just good. There's a lot of bad in sports, gambling on basketball games.
That's right.
But there's a lot of good in it too, man.
Well, I have to look at that baseball, that video. That's
you got to
cool.
see it.
That's pretty cool.
It's just great.
All right, Jay, a lot of folks lining up for FriJay. I suppose we could squeeze one in here before we have to take a quick time out. Let's see. I believe Ian is first up with FriJay. Hey, Ian, how are you?
Good. I have a question.
All right.
They're a real estate developer that has done a biopond building from my property, but they also crossed the line and took out my monument, the corner post. What? And I was talking to water storm management throughout the process. What can I do?
Yeah, I'm not quite able to hear you very well, Ian, but apparently a real estate developer came in and came on your property and tore something up.
He took out my property stake, the monument.
The property stake?
The stake just that marks the property. How much is it worth?
What? Is it worth anything? No. The thing of it is I was dealing with Metro Storm Management because I knew they was coming over on our property.
Well, why are you worried that stake's no longer there?
Why am I worried? Because they moved it.
So are they suggesting...
How does that hurt you, Ian?
Yeah.
Having my property line moved?
Yeah, did they just move it to another place?
They moved it probably about, we'll say, 8 inches.
Well, are you in touch with them? Are you talking to them?
I had it surveyed last year because I knew it was going to happen because they had dug under it all the way around it.
Right.
And basically, I had my surveyor talk to their surveyor, which their surveyor refused to talk to mine. I don't know. Is it that big of a deal?
You've had it surveyed recently, so at least your people think they know where the property line is. Well, is the marker still out there?
No, they took it out. They had dug around it under it.
It's gone.
They put it in a cement block about 8 inches down.
Well, what I do is go back out there and put a marker where it was.
He did.
And don't let them build on your property. Have they started? You think they're going to build something on your property?
They are doing a biopond. That's why I was dealing with Metro.
They're doing a what? I'm so sorry. I'm having trouble hearing you. They're doing a what?
A biopond. A biopond where they dig down. And
a biopond.
We're talking about a strip that's a foot wide, right?
A foot wide? Yeah, they took about a foot off.
Well, what I would do is I would go back out there and put the stakes in where your surveyor said they are and tell those people this is the property line. And if you get across my property line, I'm going to sue you.
They've already crossed it.
What?
Well, but have they built anything on it, Ian?
Yes, they've dug and doing a bio pond.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, I would.
And
I
they're
would,
doing that on they've already put that on your property.
Yes, they're getting ready to fill it in. Yes, the bio
Okay,
pond.
well then
Yeah.
you need to get a lawyer and sue them. They're stealing from you, Ian.
mhm.
You need to get a lawyer. This is not something you can handle yourself. You need to get. I didn't realize they'd already built something on it. You just need to
Yeah.
get a lawyer, and the lawyer will write him a letter and say, "Look, you owe her $100,000 for this strip of land you sold from her, or ever how much they think it's worth." And then if they don't write you a check, then it'll sue them. That's all you
That's
can
our
do.
only. That's all we can do. Even
That's
though
all you
we're
can do.
dealing with Metro.
Well, you could go out there and try to dig up the pond, but I wouldn't recommend that.
Yeah.
I'd
No,
rather
I
get a
can't.
lawyer.
They're going to fill it in.
Well, I'd get a lawyer.
Good luck, Ian. I wish you luck. I'm nobody likes to hear that, but sometimes that's what you got to do.
Sometimes your rights are violated, and if it's small things, you can take care of it yourself. But something like this, you're just going to have to get a lawyer.
Boy, I would, Jay, this is just me and you talking, and I wish Ian the best, and Ian knows that situation better than me. But, boy, I would strongly evaluate whether that 8 inches was worth it.
Well, that's right.
Yeah.
That's why she's got to go see a lawyer.
That's right.
I mean, part of the reason I told her to go see a lawyer, man, and, I'll just pull back the curtain here.
Uh-huh.
She knows she's got to pay. And then she has to, in her mind, decide, well, is this really worth $10,000?
Yeah. That's right.
It struck me that this was more of a kind of an emotional injury than a real monetary injury.
Boy, it's the type of thing, Jay, if I peel back the curtain, that's the type of thing that I would let just work me over.
Absolutely. You'd wear them out. You'd never let it go.
I would let, it would work. It would just wear me out.
Because your rights are being violated.
That's right. That's right.
And that's exactly right. But that's when you have to decide. I had a conversation. In fact, one of your listeners called me earlier today. We had the same kind of conversation. He had something that was an injury to him.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, well, and he said he was going to have to pay somebody $700 to fix it. And I said, well, is it worth it? He said, I don't know. Well, it's time for you to decide.
Now's the time for Jesus.
If you can write $700 and get that burr out from under your saddle, would you write the check? He says, never thought about that one.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, I think about just about it. It's what I do for a living. So that's the way I think about pretty much every problem.
Well, you and I have talked many times on the golf course about, bigger companies deciding to settle suits when they feel like they've done nothing wrong.
Right.
But they settle them anyway because the cost of going through the entire process would be more. And you've laughed at me more times than once because I get all worked up about it. It's like, well, dadgummit, Jay, that right, wrong's wrong. I say, yeah, money's money too, man.
Well, here's the way I say it, and it's a shame, and I hate it and wish it weren't this way. Hey, Ken, are you there?
I think he's doing something, Jay.
Okay.
Jackson's there. Jackson's there.
Are you there?
Yeah, what's going on, Jay?
There's gonna be a tough pop quiz for you, but if you're a company and you get sued, do you know most often than not, do you know what the cheapest way to win that lawsuit is?
Settle.
That's exactly right.
Wow. Jackson's been listening to FriJay.
I'm impressed with Jackson.
Listen, he's on top. He's got his mask on. He's ready for Tennessee, Oklahoma. We'll talk about that in just a moment. I gotta ask Jay what he thinks about this Tennessee, Oklahoma deal. 26 after the hour, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Back to FriJay after this. You think they'll do this one tomorrow night?
Oh, hell yeah.
Uh-oh. I wish Jay could see you right now. Hey, Jay, this is by request.
Well, I don't know. Somebody's got some really good taste to ask for that. You ought to see it in the stadium. Man. I mean, it's dark mode tomorrow night.
Uh-huh.
And the people who came up with that are just brilliant. It's been around about 5 years now, I think.
Oh, yeah. Well, Ken Weaver gets to experience it for the first time ever, Jay. He's going over to Neyland tomorrow night.
Oh, wow. Well, you're going to have a good time, Ken.
Not too much fun.
Jay. Yep. No, we'll see what happens, but yeah, it's going to be, and they got all this pyro now, Matt, and all these LED lights and everything. It's really cool.
Oh, it's a spectacle. I mean, yeah, no, they The people that run these shows, they figured out a long time ago, I mean, probably several years ago, that they were competing with television.
Right.
And TV's gotten really, really good. And so they've learned to make this a different kind of experience. It's not just a football game anymore. It's fun.
Yeah,
it's fun.
It's cool.
So, Jay, let's see. Let's get to Carol, who is up next. Carol, thank you for your call. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Well, good. What's on your mind?
Okay, about 6 years ago, there was a blockage in a main sewer line, and the blockage was about about a block and a half away from my daughter's house.
Right.
Because of that blockage, sewage backed up into her house.
Yeah.
They had to redo floors, redo this.
Right.
The insurance, there was a cap on the insurance, so it just paid so much, and then they just had to absorb the rest of the cleanup.
Was it city? Was it the city sewer system?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, it's happened again.
Yeah.
Now
What
this
city
is
is?
the second.
What city is?
Do what?
What city?
Spring Hill.
Spring Hill. Okay.
Yeah, which they have a lot of sewage problems.
Right.
If you read the paper. But it's happened again.
Yeah.
A different place. The blockage was a different place.
Right.
But her house is the lowest on their street.
Right.
And
So she gets the worst of it.
yeah. Is there any? They say they're not responsible this time.
Well, yeah, of course they're gonna say that, Carol. And hang on a second. I'm sorry about that. But yeah, it's kind of tough to sue the government.
Yeah.
But yeah, you ought to get. Well, it's worth talking to a lawyer about. Let me put it that way. But it's tough, and there's this concept of sovereign immunity that goes way, way back to England, that the king can do no wrong, and that concept has lingered on in the law. But I don't know. Tennessee may have passed some kind of law that allows for claims like this to be brought against the city. Have you been in touch with the city about it, or your daughter?
With the city, yes, she has.
And what did they say?
Sorry.
What did they say?
Nothing. They contacted their insurance people, and they just said, no, it's not their problem.
Well, yeah, that's what they're going to say. I'm sorry to say it, Carol, but this is something you're just going to need a lawyer for. And I'd get somebody there. I'm sorry?
You would advise her to see a lawyer?
Absolutely. I'd go talk to a lawyer about it. Does she live in Spring Hill?
Yes, she does.
Well, there's probably some lawyers there. I would start there. There's probably not that many lawyers there in Spring Hill, and so I'd try to find the best lawyer you can find in Spring Hill and just talk to them about it and say it's going to be a little bit hard to get somebody to take this case because I don't know, how much damage is it? $10,000 worth of damage?
The estimate for the reconstruction people was $42,000
for the house.
Yeah.
Wow.
The last time it happened, it was 40. And there's an insurance. There's a cap on her insurance as to what the insurance will pay.
Wow. Well, you got to go see a lawyer. No, for that kind of money, you got to go see a lawyer.
Carol, good luck. Let us know how it goes, okay?
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you very much.
I hate to hear that's going on, and twice, 40,000 first time and 42 this time. My goodness.
Well, I had that happen to me one time when I was living in Nashville, as a matter of fact.
Oh, really?
In a apartment complex, and the sewer back. Somebody flushed a T-shirt down, and my apartment was one of the lower ones, and all of a sudden, sewage just started backing up in my apartment.
Probably a Sooner fan.
It came in through the back. It was backing up through the bathtub.
Oh no!
Yeah, and I ended up with a foot of raw sewage in my.
I wouldn't even put that on Ken. That's probably a Bama fan.
I wouldn't do that.
That's a Bama fan, Ken. I'm gonna put it on Bama fans.
Yeah.
Florida.
Yeah. I mean, a good friend of mine, Ken, one time taught me this. I'd never heard this before.
Yeah.
That around the hole and down
around the bowl
and down the hole.
Right.
Roll Tide roll.
That's exactly
That's
right.
what he taught me. Alan, I can't remember who taught me that, but a good friend of mine taught me that. Alan, what's going on?
Hey, fellas, how are you guys doing?
Doing great.
Hey, listen, I got a consumer question. It's about automobile accidents, and I'll give you what happened. A couple months ago, I was hit in the rear, not the first time, of course, and I am a former police officer, so I worked a few accidents in my years.
Right.
But I'm wondering, where does the consumer, this is, all, I guess, a broad paint of this, or the brushes. Anyway, if the insurance company, the other person's insurance company, says, we're going to give you an estimate, we're going to think what the value of the vehicle and what the repairs would be. That being said, do you have, as I've been told before by other attorneys, there's a term used in the industry, it's called like new or as is. But do I have the right, or does anybody have the right to say, you know what, I don't want a third-party component put back on the vehicle. I'd rather have OEM because that's the way it was. It was.
Well, you can do that, Alan. The law is not very satisfactory in this area. It really isn't. And the deal is, once a car gets wrecked, it's never going to be as good as it was before. I mean, that's just the truth. And that's right. They owe you for the car as is, as it was. And I don't know that you got an absolute right to do that, Alan. If you got the right judge, he might do it. I mean, here's the way that would play out. If they say no, we're gonna use Japanese made parts. We're not gonna use OEM parts. And you say no, I don't. I mean, here's what you could do. I talk to them and say, well, tell me the difference. What are we talking about in terms of money between the parts you want to use and what the OEM parts? Tell me what that difference is, and I may pay it. That may be the best solution. Because the difference may not be that much, Alan.
Right. Well, it is been established that this particular model from 05 to 09, so it's an 06, it's a GT Mustang, limited edition. Nothing fancy about it other than maybe what's under the hood. It is a beautiful car, low mileage.
Oh,
and
I'm so
I've already
sorry
advised I've advised and I'll make it short and sweet. I've already mentioned to the adjuster for the body shop, hey, you know what? I'm willing to go with, again, the term like new or as. In other words, I'm willing to go from 05 to 09, and you guys just paint it, and I'll be happy as a billy goat in the Cabbage Patch. And they said they could probably swing that with the other person's insurance companies.
Perfect. Yeah, if you can work a deal with the body shop, that's exactly the way to do it. I mean, there was a lot of litigation about State Farm for using cheap parts for a long time ago, big class action. They can't use really cheap stuff that's no good, that's not, that's junk. They can't do that, but they can use the okay stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have to use the best stuff. But yeah, I like that. I mean, you're smart to just work with the body shop and say, look, I want the good stuff. And if the insurance is only going to pay you for the okay stuff, I'll pay the difference. I bet you it won't be that much.
Though, what other phrase or term can one use besides like new or as is? I was told by a body expert there was one other term that really gives you a little bit of advantage, if you will, to the chagrin of the other adjuster. Something you can say to them, and it kind of perks up their ears. Does that come to mind? Anything you can think of?
I don't do that day in, day out, Alan, so I don't know. It's for like homeowners policies, when you're buying coverage, that you can get either as is coverage or replacement coverage for homes. And then, so if your house burns down, they're not going to value it as for what the condition was.
Diminished value. Someone said diminished value on the super text line. I don't know if that. I don't know if that applies, but.
But I mean, as is versus what was the other phrase you're using, Alan?
Well, they're saying the term they use a lot, I guess, and I guess it's said quite a bit, is like new or as is. So that means that
like
year model and above.
Yeah, like new. Yeah, so like new is it's the good stuff. As is that's the way. But I don't think that's so much the quality of the parts.
A couple of people are saying like kind quality. So I don't know.
Well, none of those are legally significant terms.
Okay.
None of those are terms of art. That's just the way they kind of talk in the industry. But I like your plan. What I would do is work with the body shop, and look, the insurance company's going to pay what they're going to pay, Alan. And if you don't think that's enough, you just got to go sue them, and you can do that yourself. The dispute will be less than $10,000. You can sue them for that. But in the meantime, you want to get OEM Ford parts on.
Yes, sir. Right.
Yeah, and so you just work that deal with the body shop.
Hell, just between you and I and the fence post, I've already been told him I'll go pull another bumper off of. There's plenty of them out there in the surrounding salvage yards. I'd even go pull one myself.
Alan,
I did that. I'll confess, I wrecked my race car out at the racetrack, and this was back during the pandemic. And the GM quit making quarter panels. They could not get a quarter panel to go on my Corvette, so I got one at a junkyard, and took it to the body shop, and they put it on.
Nice.
So you're racing.
And it was even better than that. It's a guy who it was a Corvette shop. This guy had flared the rear fenders for exactly my car. So I have the only C5 Corvette in the country that has flared rear fenders.
Well, if you're racing down the racetrack, I would say Fuki Buford or Red Farmer was probably at fault.
Red Farmer.
Well, we had Red Farmer out there. I told you about that, haven't I?
I don't think so.
Yeah,
Thank you, Alan.
Yeah, no, Alan, you're doing exactly right. Just work with the body shop. They'll work with you and put some good stuff on that car. That's a beautiful car.
Olivia agrees. Olivia agrees wholeheartedly. Jay, several people, I've got so many people on the line and I've got so many questions on the Super Text line, but several people have asked me to ask you if you have any thoughts on this. And it's a late breaking development. I'll just give you the rundown. 2 judges have ruled
about the SNAP deal.
Yeah, I mean,
it's they judge shop this up in Massachusetts and Rhode Island, man, and Trump's legal team is on that stuff, and so apparently they didn't issue an injunction, which is odd. It's kind of like this New York thing against Trump. They said, well, you broke the law, but we're not going to make you pay any money.
Right.
So they're not ordering the government to write checks. So that's all I can tell you. I've been following it a little bit as we've been talking.
It's just it just feels so forced and so odd.
Yeah, well, it's just some more of this judge shopping stuff,
right? I mean, and our basic understanding, even 8th grade civics class understanding of the Constitution is that the Congress, specifically the House of Representatives, is the purse strings. They handle the money, and then for them to do this, it just kind of goes against basic core civics of what we're doing. Real quick timeout, and I'll tell you what, Jay, I don't want to keep you through the break because we seem to be running against it. I want you to have a wonderful weekend. I know you have big Halloween plans tonight. I know it's a big time for you. What's Olivia going as?
Olivia will be the Secretary of Homeland Security tonight, and I'm thinking we may already have some trick-or-treaters moving around because she is on high alert.
You got candy for the trick-or-treaters, Jay?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Oh, good for you.
I've got the window open here in this, my front office room, and she is on DEFCON 1.
Well, tell her to be nice to those spooks and those goblins, and we'll talk to you next week, brother. Have a great weekend.
See you, buddy.
All right, take care. This is 53 after the hour on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.